Hey guys, welcome to the third and last piece of turning our workshop shed into a chicken coop. So follow along and we'll finish this up.
So an update on where we're at in the chicken coop. We put in some vinyl flooring. We have the chicken roosts done. This is actually made out of the sides of an old wooden ladder that we cut to length. We cut the rungs off. We made two U brackets out of some scrap wood. And then to hold these in place so they don't slide out, it's just a hole drilled through the board and a hole drilled through the bracket with a nail through it so that they can't slide off to keep them secure. And we did the same on the top one. And then using more scrap wood, we did the same type of thing here, and that is adhered into the wall. Now we did take a panel that we had left over that was sitting in with all the other stuff that we have not finished up from other projects or leftovers. So that we put behind the roost to help protect the wall because it has like an easy wipe off finish on it, like a panel for like in a bathroom. Now this is section one. We're going to do a second section, but we wanted to get the first one in and done. And this is our nest box and storage unit. So the nest boxes are here in the middle. They're about 18 inches up, and we'll be putting some shavings and stuff in there for the chickens. The bottom is going to be used just for storage. It's just going to have a panel closing that off. And the top is also going to be used for storage. And this is to help make sure that the chickens aren't jumping on top of the nest boxes and pooping on them all over the place. And that storage areas will have doors on them so that they will be closed in. We're looking at making a second unit to go right next to it, right up to the window. And we're using old pallet board. We've got that here. So these are from some pallets we took apart, and we're reusing that instead of going out and buying brand new wood. The vinyl flooring was super cheap, and just to help protect the floor, we did double coat paint it before we put that down. Probably going to be putting some kind of trim around the bottom, but we also painted the masonite on the walls and all the way up on the ceiling to help protect that as well. So we'll get this finished with the nest boxes, and we'll show you what it looks like when it's done.
Well, we finished the inside of the chicken coop. And as you can see, the girls are just starting to come in and get used to it. They spent their first night in here last night. Close the door behind me. So here's the perches. We put a coat of paint on those, and I don't know how this is going to translate on the camera, but to make them a little more grippy, we used really old garbage paint that even after it was stirred, it has like a texture to it. Nothing you'd want to use on anything you care about. But instead of throwing the paint away, we used that on the perches. We used that on the ramp to get up to the perches. It makes it a little easier for the girls to grip onto it. We finished the cabinet, and the perch for the nest box is painted with the same grippy paint. The bottom cabinet there, we keep things that we don't really get to all that often, are a heater, some chicken nipples and waterers and stuff, that more for winter. And then we have the double cabinet here up top. And again, more chicken junk that isn't used very often. But we we keep it around. And keeping it in the chicken coop makes sense because it's at least where it needs to be. But you can see this cabinet is now finished. The doors are on it, the egg boxes, and we have to put one more in right here. But until then, we're just using that for, again, more storage for, we do a deep litter on the floor in the coop, and we keep extra pine shavings. For the meantime, we put some hooks up so we can hang up some equipment that we use for cleaning out the chicken coop. I've got our old brooder in here. We haven't built in the brooder yet. That's going to be built into this cabinet. Instead of another lower cabinet, there'll be a brooder, 3 more nest boxes, and then possibly another cabinet like this one right above it. In the meantime, we've been using this one for a little over 10 years. It still works. I'd like to have something built in, but in the meantime, I just moved it in here to keep all the chicken stuff together. Got a temporary little PVC stand for food and eggshells and hot pepper flakes for the girls. Normally I don't really keep food inside the coop. But like I said, they're just getting used to it. They're learning their way around, and to keep them from being totally terrified, I put a few things in here to make them a little bit more comfortable. That's where we keep the food in scratch. Put those in metal garbage cans just to help keep rodents and things like that out of the food. And I have this piece of smooth paneling on a piano hinge that lifts and can get latched up when I'm working with the food, and it can get dropped down when I'm not in here. And that way the girls aren't going to jump up on top of those cans and poop everywhere. If they hit that roof, it's kind of hard to see on film, but it's on a pitch. If they jump up there, they slide right off. So I don't have to worry about them making a mess. Right now, I have one light on a switch for when I'm working in here, and I have the other light on a timer. Until the girls get used to coming in here at night, I have the light automatically turn on around 6 o'clock, and it turns off at 8 o'clock at night. That way they know where to come at night. They spent the night in here last night. It was their first night. They were terrified. I think only 3 or 4 of them were actually on perches. The rest of them were all huddled up on the floor over here. But we did notice in our egg boxes, we've got a few eggs today. So they are using the nest boxes, which is good. That's really was my main concern, that they weren't going to know where to lay their eggs, or I'd find eggs on the floor in here. So they're using the right place to lay their eggs. And as kind of a little side job for anybody who was paying attention, this leads over to the workshop area, and it used to have a garage door. In the process of building all this, we had a couple of windows given to us by a friend. Thanks, Lori. And we had a door that was sitting in our garage for like 14 years when we put the addition on the cabin. It was like a leftover piece, and it's just been sitting there. So we used the door, the 2 windows from Lori, and some 2x4s and other wood that we had laying around. And we took out the garage door, put in a proper door with windows, and now it feels much more like a shop. I don't have to open a garage door to come in and out. So anyway, that was a little side job that's done. And we've, of course, got our sliding door here that I put screen on to keep the girls in their side, keep me on my side. And the next and last part of the project is right outside of the coop here. Just close everything up. We've got the pop door here. We have a fence that runs around the property. You can't really see it, but right outside of the coop, you can see is where it starts. I have a 6-foot high dog kennel that we had moved from the old location over to this location. And it runs all the way around. There's one door in the back here to let the girls out into our orchard. And a door right here that I can come in and out to do maintenance and to feed the girls in the morning. And I'll just go outside of that. So this is the new kind of inner keep, the inner chicken run, where they can come out in the morning, they can get their food and water, and they can be outside when we're out here, and we can monitor and make sure, because we have hawks and eagles out here that will snatch up the girls. When we're out here monitoring them, I can open up one of these back doors here and let them come out, and they can run the entire property back here because we have it all fenced in. And when we're not able to watch them, I let them come into this run. Now, normally when this run was over here at the old chicken location, the old chicken coop, I had it covered with cattle panel over the roof, over the top of it, to keep predatory birds from flying in and grabbing the chickens. That part still needs to get done. We're playing around with PVC pipe. This is 2-inch PVC pipe. I'm gonna put a couple posts in the middle of the chicken run there, and then we're gonna have pieces extending from the coop all the way to the other side of the fence, and then we're gonna cover the top of the fence with chicken wire just to keep those birds protected while they're outside. But that's the last part of our build. When we get that done, we'll give you a full tour and show you what we're doing for feeders and what we plan on doing for water. I'm gonna have an IBC tote that collects rainwater and auto feeds the water supply for the birds. And then the food, I could make it so it's a little bit easier to feed them or automatically feed them. But to be honest, I like coming out early in the morning, letting the girls out into their run and feeding them personally. That way I can also monitor, make sure everybody is healthy, make sure everybody looks good, nobody's getting plucked. A little more hands-on with them makes it so that I can also monitor and make sure that everybody in our flock is doing good. So let's get on to the next piece, and then we'll wrap things up.
So the girls are ready to come out of their smaller run so that they can have some free range time today. And I'm going to show you how we finished up getting this outdoor run for them covered. You may have seen some of this pipe used in our earlier videos if you saw our previous kennel run that we had set up for the chickens, where we had the cattle panel over the top. Or earlier in this video, you may have seen that gray piece over there. We ended up going out, we picked up 3 more pieces of 2-inch PVC pipe, and we got some tees, and we got some caps where we've got it adhered to the side of the building. And we just put these together as support for the chicken wire that we've got up on top. Now, the chicken wire is light. We really weren't too worried about that. But just in case we get any ice or anything, a branch falls, we wanted something to help give it a little bit of support. So we created tees, 2 of them, each about 8 feet in, and that centered everything to give us a nice even support for the chicken wire. Again, like I said, we've got the T at the top, so a piece of PVC, another piece, our piece that's about 1 foot into the ground. It's not holding up any weight, so just having 1 foot in the ground is fine. We're actually using, if I move this, one of these PVC pipes at the moment, we have a shelf bracket on it, and that's what's holding up their chicken feed. An old ladder and just a piece of wood over the top for now, until we have a chance to build an outdoor feed station. I know Steve, I think, had mentioned that he also wants to set up some automated watering options with one of our IBC totes. So we still have to do that. But in the meantime, getting this chicken wire over the top was our biggest priority to keep the girls safe. And this morning, I wish I could have got a shot to show you, but we had a hawk and a golden eagle, both in our backyard, sitting in a tree. One of them was eating a snake. So we do have a lot of predatory birds that could go after our chickens, so that's why this was so important. So to wrap up this video, there's been a few changes that we've made inside the coop. We added a second ramp from the top perch down in case the chickens want to use that. Some of them seem to have a little bit of an issue. I don't know if it's just that they're getting used to it, but we did that anyway. We did take the food out already. We are leaving our eggshells and hot pepper flakes. The nice thing about our PVC stand that we made for that was that we could just take it apart, take half off, hang it up on the wall to use later. We did find one egg in a corner this morning. As I said, we do have three more nest boxes that we're going to put in. I don't know if this was a case of somebody not being able to get in a nest box because they were full, or somebody like the girls we've got in here now just being a little obstinate. But if you have any questions on anything specific from this video, or if there's anything you'd like us to go into more detail on, please make sure you leave us a comment. Other than that, make sure you give us a like, share our video out to other people you think might enjoy our content, and until next time, everybody, take care.